YouTube. It's Kimberly Jacobs, Kim for the Kids. I'm here today to do a quick little blurb about time on task. Yes, time on task is important. How do you get it every minute of the day? Probably one, you can't, and two, what we want to do is to always make sure we've given the students direction as to what they should be considering, what they should be thinking of. We aren't agenda writers and paper passer outers. We are kind of mind coaches. If we're helping our students, we are coaching their little minds to digest all those lessons that we're giving them and reflect. So many times teachers are going to have comments made by administrators that maybe the students weren't all on task, or maybe because their pencil wasn't moving, they were concerned that they didn't have the appropriate time on task. And here's the example that I've heard more than once is we do a think, pair, share. The kids are talking and they all appear to be on task. Principal's happy. Then they do a group share, seem to all be on task. They're happy. Somebody writes up their presentation. They go up to the front and the person presenting is on task. Probably the 3 students that helped him, that their grades coming from the presentation are on task, but maybe the other 23 students are not on task. Here's how you're going to do it. You're going to come up with a way where the students are given the assignment to watch attentively and think about blank. If you're first grade, you might just have a thumbs up and a thumbs down at the top of your classroom. And so you're just going to remind the students at the end of the presentation, we are going to do thumbs up, thumbs down on did they answer the question. We're going to do a thumbs up, thumbs down on did they speak loud enough. It could just be as simple as that. They're working on their speaking skills. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Did all 4 people participate in the presentation? Like everybody said a sentence. Little kids. High school kids, and this is senior economics. We came up with a little rubric. It was a slice of paper. It was a 1/5 or a 1/6 of a piece of paper sideways. So we made it landscape. There was room to write the student's name. So Kim's gonna do the evaluating, the name of the group or whatever they call them, the group 7. And then there were little rubric words, and the kids just did check plus minus. So spoke clearly, had a title, stayed on topic, loud enough to hear. They had arguments. They talked about the counter arguments. They had a conclusion. They had an introduction. They had a graphic. So just the things that you as a teacher want in the presentations, the kids just get a little slip of paper with those words, and they're just going to put check plus minus next to all of them and turn it in that they evaluated kids. So you could do a front and a back, and you could have 12 groups. The student only turns in 1 paper for 12 groups. And maybe you just look at it to see if they participated. Maybe then I personally would ask them, which group do you think did best overall, and what would you do that they did? So what did they do in their presentation that you want to incorporate into your next presentation? So just that evaluation. It's not something that comes natural to the human species. Our brains are meaning-making, pattern-seeking machines. We pay attention to things that are out of the ordinary, that are different, that might be dangerous. That's how you learn to scan the trees to see the bird so that you can kill it and eat it. Visual patterns, auditory patterns, everything. To self-reflect on how we've interpreted or participated in something is not as natural. So asking kids to think in an evaluative way about their colleagues and their own performance and tie them together is a great way to get them to stay on task, even if there isn't a big work production piece. If I've given you 100 math problems and I've given you 7 minutes to do it and you turned it in, I could probably be confident you spent your time on task. But what about that downtime when you're just listening? It's not just listening. Give them a task. Give them a cognitive task. Ask them to reflect on it. Ask them how they're going to incorporate it. Ask for that back in writing at the end, and you will get more engagement, more on time on thinking tasks than you did before. So that's my suggestion. I hope it helps. So I'm Kimberly Jacobs. If you found this at all of value, please share it out. You can share the link. Please subscribe so you know the next time I toss up a little tip, I get these topics from you. So write in the comments section or email me if you want something talked about, because I am going to go out with a bang and share everything that I know about teaching with you before I retire to maybe Fiji. See you later. Bye.